have a lot left to work on. We look forward to that challenge, and obviously that's going to be critical as we get ready for Ball State. And just a little bit about Ball State. Played their best game of the season, in my opinion, a week ago. They're a really well-coached football team. They're a team that's very disciplined. They're never going to give you the game. They're going to make you do everything to go win the football game. So it'll be a great challenge for our football team. We look forward to it. And with that said, any questions you have?
Just a second. A little better audio. Okay, go ahead.
Now,
Awesome. Questions?
historically, are you a little concerned normally going to Ball State? Usually you guys are pretty good. Ball State is kind of going to go on these
Yeah, I guess I don't know much about that. From our standpoint, I know Ball State, since I've been in the conference, has been really a good football team, and they do a great job in terms of, what I said. They don't ever give you the game. They make you have to go win the football game. I think our kids know that. Obviously, played them a year ago in a really good football game. The prior two were great games. So we've got a lot of respect for them. We know what kind of challenges ahead of us and look forward to the challenges ahead.
Seeing Riley start on the road against one of the best defenses in the country, is there anything about that start that impressed you?
Well, I just think his moxie, they're a true freshman, to be able to go and play like he did, I thought was really impressive in my opinion. Here's this young man, and I think they played him. They were able to rotate those guys a little bit in the first couple games. But for him to go in, play consistently the entire football game was impressive. And obviously, I think his ability to run the football and throw the football is what probably impressed me more than anything. And I think that certainly has given them another threat on their football team right now.
Because he is mobile and you guys saw Sam Richardson from Iowa State, you think you guys kind of have a handle on a quarterback that can keep plays alive like that?
I think yes and no. Obviously, I don't know if we had a phenomenal handle in the Iowa State game. He made some outstanding plays, and I think this young man has the same type of ability to do that. So, it's something that we're obviously going to have to work on. We're going to have to be able to improve from what we did at the Iowa State game to where we are today, and I think we know that, and it'll be a great challenge for us.
You guys are obviously so close to that top 25. Is that something you guys look at or care about or think about or take notice of?
Honestly, no. Honestly, I don't even know what's going on with that or where that is because, again, it's week 4 of the football season. We're getting into MAC conference play, which is, has been at the forefront of our off-season preparation. I think our kids know that, know how critical the game that we play with Ball State is. And so, to me, it's something that's, I hear Paul tell me that, and that's about it. So, other than that, no. I hope not too much. Again, I think that's who we are. It's the continuity of process and our ability to get better one day at a time. And, as much as any game prior to or any game afterwards, it's the next game. And obviously this is next opponent. We still got a lot of work to do. I think we saw that on the videotape, some really good things that we improved on from 3 to 4. And obviously for us, a lot of work that we need to continue to get better if we want to go in and play a really noteworthy opponent on the road in a big conference game. I think the only difference now is every game obviously counts towards a hopeful opportunity to go win a MAC championship.
Your turnover differential has been very good, but so is Ball State's. Do you think the stakes are going to be especially amplified?
Yeah, and I kind of said it prior too. One of the things that Ball State's always done is they don't beat themselves. They do a great job of whether it's penalties. I think they're one of the least penalized teams in the country right now. Turning the football over, creating turnovers. They do a great job of those things, and obviously that's why they've had so much success there. They do a tremendous job of forcing you to go and win the football game and not beating themselves.
What did you learn about this team through the non-league schedule that maybe you didn't know before the season started?
Well, I'd say the first thing is leadership. We lost some great leadership last year. I don't think you ever know until you get some adversity, and I think real adversity really doesn't hit until you get into the season. And even though ours, I think it's come in different forms this year. The first 3-hour rain delay in the first game, you got to go out and play. You go down obviously on the road, SEC opponent. We come back, double overtime game. I think what I've really enjoyed watching is the leadership of our football team really grow and strengthen. I don't think we had a drop-off from a year ago. I think we've actually improved and just continue to take the reins, and I think that's really hard to do in college football. So I think that's maybe been the greatest surprise and or what I'm proudest of this football team right now.
Is it encouraging to you that where you're at in the offense hasn't quite found its footing completely yet?
I'd say yes and no. I think I'm definitely encouraged by where our football team is, and again, I defensively we got a lot of guys back. So I think my expectation was we would be improved defensively, and I think we are. We got a lot of young guys playing on offense, and in terms of them hitting their stride as of right now, I didn't expect us to be. Special teams, I think, has been solid. They probably exceeded my expectations just because some young guys have had to step into some critical roles and have played really well for us. So I think all in all, I've seen us do what I thought we were capable of doing. And, like I said, within that question, I think there's still so much room for improvement on our football team. That excites me. And, if we were a finished product right now, I'd be really nervous. Well, I just think, again, it's situational football. We got to continue to. We're not perfect there, even though we've played well at times within the situations on both sides of the football. Offensively, I think just consistency is really important for us right now. I thought we were a lot closer this past game to where we want to be than what we had been. But, again, I think those are my expectations. So I think just overall growth and our ability to continue to elevate our level. I told our kids, the 9 position groups we have, we've got to try to really work to hit on all cylinders in all 9 of those areas. And obviously we haven't done that yet or even been close to that. But I think it's something that we really work hard to make sure that we're getting ourselves to that point.
As the offense goes along, a lot of these guys are playing their first month as starters. Are you seeing growth?
Well, yeah, and I think we did. Obviously, even last week, I think you saw tremendous growth. Guys like Cody Thompson had a phenomenal game. Even though he had some great catches the week before, you saw the consistency of play from him. Excellent. You talk about where Phillip is now, even from game 1, and even though he's not a young player, he's young in terms of playing, and I think you see his growth continue to go. Obviously, our offensive line has continued to make great growth, and so I'm not disappointed in any of those areas because the attitude, the effort, the commitment of those guys has been outstanding. You even see guys, Damian Jones-Moore and Mark Remy forced into now the starting role, which is certainly different than playing 10 to 15 plays a game. Now they're playing 40 to 50 plays in a game. So I think there's a lot of newness on that side, and I thought those guys have really handled it well. Obviously, the steadying ship there, in my opinion, has been the play of Phillip, has allowed that offense to really steady itself when it needed to be. And, again, Coach Campbell's done a great job, and our offensive staff and situational football. That's one area we've been really good. Third down percentage has been outstanding, was great last week. Red zone offense has been solid. I'd like to see us score a couple more touchdowns in the red zone than obviously what we have, but we're putting points on the board when we get down there at a really high rate. So I think when you talk and take care of the football, those 3 things are what make, really at the end of it, make elite offenses. And those guys are doing that, so it's got a great foundation to itself.
Do you have an update on Kareem? Will he play Saturday?
Yeah, I think we'll have a better understanding, obviously, through the week this week. He was much better yesterday than he was, obviously, last Sunday. We're going to have to make a really smart decision about it because it's the one thing that I don't want that to continue to nag and continue to be an issue. So I think we'll have a really good understanding of full health by, hopefully Wednesday, Thursday of this week.
Talk a little bit about the defense. Has it exceeded past expectations? They've got great numbers in the red zone.
Yeah.
Meaningful.
Well, I think this defensively, number one is there's a lot of veteran guys on our defense, a lot of guys that have played a lot of football for us. And, the defense, the front 7, the back end. And I think what you're seeing is a lot of growth in, number one, continuity of what we've done defensively. Number 2, now a lot of juniors and seniors playing a lot of football for us. And number 3, I think their attention to detail. I think Coach Haycock is one of the best in the country at demanding attention to detail. And I think we played with great attention to detail in the first 4 football games of the season. And, I'm a big believer in coaching situational football. If you came to our practices, there's hardly are we practicing first down and second down. We're practicing down in the red zone, coming out situations. We're practicing third down situations because that's ultimately what dictates the outcome of football games. So, I think our kids are hopefully playing to what we're trying to get accomplished through practice and how we try to attack a game plan week in and week out. So, I guess I'm not surprised by the success they're having, at least in those areas. They've done a really good job honing in on the details of to be successful in those areas.
You and in your one of two schools so far this season not allowed to sign. How do you view the road offensive line?
Well, I think there's two people that get credit for that. Number one, our quarterback has done a really good job of getting rid of the football. Number two, I think it's just the continued growth of what our offensive line needs to do a really good job of. And I think they got to, their growth, they're continue to get comfortable in what their assignments are. Obviously know how critical it is of our success of protecting our quarterback. I think that goes hand in hand, and they'll be a great challenge this week. One of the honestly the best defensive end we played against, in my opinion, this year. Ball State has, and they've got a really dynamic defensive front. So I think there'll be some great challenges ahead for this group, and we'll have to be prepared for that. Anything else? Awesome. Thank you guys.
Okay, thanks a lot. Some success early.
I think helping with the fall, being able to come in during the winter and spring really gave me a good feel for the playbook and stuff because it wasn't really where it was time for it to really count. So like being able to learn with a lot of the senior DBs and a lot of the defensive players that came back, helped me transition in pretty good.
Did you get a chance to talk to Robert after the game?
Oh, Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him after the game just to check in with him, see how he was.
What was it? Was it strange to be on different sides?
A little bit, but I mean, I only got to play with him for a semester, so it wasn't too strange.
What have you learned about this team through the non-conference schedule? How good can this group be?
I think we've been pretty good. A lot of guys are playing a lot of snaps, but they're playing those snaps. They're not sagging off or loafing them, nothing like that. They give it all they got, however many snaps they play.
That's good. Okay. If you could stick around, we'll get you after we're done here.
Okay.
Excellent.
So the play behind this offensive line, the big thing when the group gets together is how they play with one another. How have you seen them do so far?
I thought they've been playing outstanding. They've been getting better every week. The camaraderie between them has been great. I really see that they're starting to mesh and really trust each other because they have to have each other's back just as much as they have mine. So I think they're doing a great job so far.
From a communication standpoint, does it feel like they've played longer than 3 or 4 games together?
Well, it kind of helps. I mean, 3.5 games in gaining that confidence. A young group hadn't played a lot. We all know that, but these guys have done a great job tackling the challenge. They've been doubted since Game 1, and they really come full circle and really come together as a collective group.
From a player's perspective, what do you see that you guys need to improve on offense?
On offense, I think many things. I think one is, after getting off to a good start, continuing, to move the football, between the 20s. I think we do a pretty good job, and then once we get in the red zone, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot sometimes. So I think being more consistent down in that area, not settling for field goals and getting touchdowns is really the main goal that we have for this week.
You guys are obviously so close to that top 25. Is it something you guys look at and you care about it, or does that not bother you at all?
No, to be honest, I don't ever pay attention. We just continue to go into each week preparing the same way as we do the last. So, whatever good fortune comes our way, we'll take. But, again, we're just trying to, put our head down and really get focused for our next game.
Does everybody feel that way, or is that kind of just a cliche answer that you come up with? Do people actually people feel that way?
No, we all feel that way, 100%. We came into this season with high expectations, so You know, like you said about the defense, you know, he's not surprised at how well they're doing in the red zone because they work so hard. Just like I'm saying with the offensive line, they work so hard. You know, it's not like a surprise. You know, we put a ton of work in on the off season, and to see it paying off is just you know, relationship to how much they work.
Further questions?
Thanks.